I'm Tad Flakey, and this is Pointless Global News. On today's show, otters are cute and lovable and out for blood. Then, Pnut the squirrel is arrested in New York. Finally, Harry Potter the bat is crowned the most beautiful bat in Oregon. Now the details. We all love otters. The slippery water weasels are so adorable when they play around, stack rocks, or crack clams with a stone balanced on their little bellies. But they get a lot less cute once they start pulling your child to a watery grave. That strange yet horrific scenario recently played out in Washington State. A mother and her child were walking at a dock by the Puget Sound when a river otter attacked them. In the tussle, the otter grabbed the child and pulled them into the river. As the mother attempted to rescue the child, the otter began assaulting her instead. Fortunately, both the mother and the child escaped without major injuries. Still, they received nasty scratches and bites that required a visit to the hospital. The otter incident happened in Bremerton, Washington, a city on the shores of the Puget Sound. This happened on September 12th. That's when the unnamed mother and her child were on a morning walk on the docks of the Bremerton Marina. Suddenly, a river otter emerged from the water and clambered onto the dock. And it wasn't there to be cute and cuddly either. The otter promptly attacked the young child, according to the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife. It grabbed the child and yanked them off the dock. Once the child was in the water, the otter pushed them under the surface, seemingly intending to drown the child. As it did so, the otter scratched the child several times and bit them on the head, face, and legs. That wasn't very nice. It's not like the mother watched helplessly from the dock, though. She immediately began to try and rescue her child. Luckily, the child broke free from the otter and popped up on the surface after only a few moments. The mother grabbed them and started helping the child out of the water. Seeing its prey get away, the otter turned its attention to the mother. As she pulled the child onto the dock, the otter sank its teeth into her arm. With the child safely on dry land, the mother and the child escaped along the dock, yet the otter wasn't ready to let them go without chasing them down the dock a little bit longer. Neither the mother nor the child received serious injuries. But why do otters attack anyway? Well, assuming that the animal doesn't have rabies, it could be because of their protective nature. Otters can be particularly violent in the spring when they give birth to otter pups. If a person or dog strays too close to their kids, the otters will fly into a psychotic rage and chase the perceived attacker away. But then again, otters are really just assholes who enjoy violence. Take sea otters, for instance. While they may look cute and cuddly, they're known to kidnap baby seals and hold them hostage until the parents bring them a tribute of fish. Like I said, after hearing all that, I don't like otters. I don't care how cute they are. Well, in other pointless news, a New York man who turned a rescued squirrel into a social media darling named Pnut is pleading with state authorities to return his beloved pet after they seized it during a raid that also yielded a raccoon named Fred. Multiple anonymous complaints about Pnut brought at least 6 officers from the State Department of Environmental Conservation to Mark Longo's home near the Pennsylvania border in rural Pine City on Wednesday. The DEC came to my house and raided my house without a search warrant to find my squirrel, said Longo, who's 34 years old. I was treated like I was a drug dealer, and they were going for drugs and guns. The officers left with Pnut, who amassed hundreds of thousands of followers on Instagram, TikTok, and other social media platforms during his 7 years with Longo. They also took Fred, a more recent addition to the family. You remember, I mentioned Fred earlier? He's the raccoon. Yeah. A spokesperson for the DEC said in a statement that the agency started an investigation after receiving multiple reports from the public about the potentially unsafe housing of wildlife that could carry rabies and the illegal keeping of wildlife as pets. Longo, who runs an animal refuge inspired by his squirrel buddy called Pnut's Freedom Farm Animal Sanctuary, took to Instagram to mourn Pnut's loss. "Well, Internet, you won," Longo posted. "You took one of the most amazing animals away from me because of your selfishness. To the group of people who call DEC, there's a special place in hell for you." Longo fears that Pnut has been euthanized. "I don't know if Pnut is alive," he said in a phone interview on Thursday. "I don't know where he is." Well, I do. Pnut is dead. It was confirmed he was, in fact, euthanized. So, is he in heaven? Is he in hell? We may never know. Finally, a winged creature from Oregon was crowned this year's winner on Thursday in an annual bat beauty contest put on by the Bureau of Land Management. On Halloween, which was also the last day of International Bat Week, a hoary bat with a feisty personality named Hoary Potter defeated Lestat, the western small-footed bat from Idaho, in the final round of the contest. It also bested a Townsend's big-eared bat named Sir Flapsalot from Utah, among others. The victory marks the third year in a row that a bat from Oregon has taken first place in the contest. Last year, William Shakespeare, a female Townsend's big-eared bat from southern Oregon, took the title. And in 2022, a canyon bat named Barbara, also from southern Oregon, was declared the winner. The federal agency has held competitions since 2019 to raise awareness about the animal's ecological importance. The bats are part of wild populations living on public lands and are photographed by the agency staff. The BLM posted the photos on its Facebook page and Instagram accounts and asked people to vote for the cutest one. Hoary bats are best known for their swift flight and wrapping themselves in their own tails to mimic leaves and to hide from predators. Because of this attribute, it's estimated Hoary Potter would be the perfect candidate for Seeker on this year's Kidditch team, referring to the game in Harry Potter that is played on flying brooms. Emma Busk, the BLM wildlife technician who photographed Hoary Potter, said bats play a key role in the environment by eating insects and pollinating flowers and fruits. But they're increasingly facing the threats of habitat loss, disease, and light pollution, and are often misunderstood as scary disease carriers. Less than 1% of all bat populations actually carry rabies, and the bat-to-human disease transmission is actually really low. Busk said that she hopes the event inspires more love for the only flying mammal. So go ahead, snuggle and kiss a bat. They're harmless. And that's a wrap for another Pointless Global News. Be sure to follow us wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Tad Flaky. Stay pointless, my friend.